Well, yesterday people were asking for another new PPP rants or review there, folks. And there's something that's fucking pissed me off. And I had wanted to do a review of this or talk about it on the show since it happened. For those of you unaware, there's a show on HBO called Winning Time. Now, they wanted to call it, of course, Showtime for the Showtime Lakers. But the head of HBO told them, we have this competitor, Showtime. You can't call it Showtime. Now, why it couldn't have just been Showtime Lakers and not just Showtime, I'm not really sure. But the HBO brass said, no, fine, whatever. Doesn't matter, it's Winning Time. Now, a lot of these actors from the not the actors, but the real life characters, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jerry West, all these motherfuckers, especially Jerry West, they were all seething at their portrayal in the first season. They shit on the show. They said it wasn't accurate, even though a lot of it probably was accurate. They just didn't want to be portrayed negatively. But as if anybody actually gives a fuck about them in the current year outside of this fucking show. But that's besides the point. They're a bunch of whining fucking bitches. It's a fucking TV show. Let us have the TV show. But it's a very good TV show. I've really been enjoying it. And it really picked up in the second season. It was really coming together well. And it was building towards Westlake getting fired as coach. And it's like, you want to see this motherfucker, this pompous fucking Shakespeare professor motherfucker get fired. He got too big for his britches. He was treating fucking Pat Riley like shit, treating everybody like shit. And it was really good up until that episode. Then, for whatever reason, the whole show they started doing time skips where years were happening in the span of one episode. You're like, what the fuck is this? What's crazy is this show could have been like 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons. It's an unreal show. And it was telling an unreal story. The story of the Lakers, the story of the Boston Celtics from that time, of Larry Bird. And you were starting to get like, this season in particular, really like the one episode that focused on Larry Bird, it was really good. It was really good. And you were getting that depth to Larry Bird and to the Celtics as well. But it's canceled. It's canceled. It's canceled. They had a surprise season finale. The whole show ends. It's called Winning Time, but it ends with losing time. Losing time for the Lakers. The ultimate failure where they lose to the Boston Celtics in the first finals between Bird and Magic in 1984. That's where the show ends? You can't end it there. What were they thinking? Well, they wanted to keep going, but apparently the ratings were low. My question is, what the fuck was anybody else watching on HBO? There's nothing. I have the Crave subscription, the Canadian version of HBO Max. Oh, is everybody watching the final season of Billions? What else do they have? They don't have shit. This show was awesome. It really came into its own this season. And then, because apparently it costs too much. It costs too much. It's a period piece. There's like a 70s and 80s aesthetic to it there, right? So what are you going to spend the money on? Why even have a studio if we can't even make... Because it's not like there's these amazing action sequences that are with thousands of warriors and shit like this. You're telling me it's too expensive to make a locker room set? Most of the show takes place in what? The locker room set? The office set? They've already built the sets. No? Is that the cost is having like Adrian Brody and John C. Reilly? Holy fuck, man. It's too expensive. They just leave everybody with their fucking dicks in their hand. I get that the fucking actual people behind the Showtime dynasty didn't want to promote it, which fucking handicapped the shit out of it. I get that fucking it costs money, I guess, to fucking make it look like the 1980s. But the show was really good. It was my favorite show. I fucking tuned into it every fucking Sunday without fail. I tuned in to see this shit. And they just leave us with this sour, shitty taste. I mean, listen, it was awesome. The way they depicted the series in '84 between Boston and LA in the final episode, it was perfect. And it was the perfect end of the second season to see them fail, to see the champagne going off in Boston. And the thing was, they were building all these character arcs, all these relationships. The show starts, for fuck's sake, with Magic Johnson getting diagnosed with AIDS. And it's like, we never even get to that point. We never get to see the payoff of that. Of Magic's career ending early and what he's going to go through now that he has AIDS and transitioning to his role after basketball and getting involved with we're not going to get to see any of it. We're not going to get to see Magic actually beat Bird in the finals. We're not going to get to see that. Why even make the second season? Why? They had to do a slapdash bullshit fucking cobbled together ending where after it fucking ends and Magic's in the shower crying, which was apparently going to be how the series ended, winning time, with Magic Johnson crying in the shower. We get this slapdash cobbled together bullshit where it's John C. Reilly and his daughter Jeannie, who, by the way, did we really need Jeannie in this show? All of her subplots were worthless as fuck. They were filler. She's a shitty owner of the Lakers. Since Dr. Bus died, the whole thing has been felted for the franchise anyway. Jeannie sucks. Her character sucked, and I wish she had but she had to be in for girl power and feminism, and maybe they were hoping that they could spin it off into one about Kobe, and she would be there, or one about LeBron's time, and she would be there. But it ends with them sitting at half court, and he's like, it's all going to be okay because we own this shit. And they laugh. And that's how the show ends. And then we get and then it explains what happened to everybody. And it's like, really? What the fuck? I just don't know. How can it end this way? Can we just get, even if they were to do this, a final season here, it would be rushed, slapped together. They'd have to do 2 seasons per episode, which is what they were starting to do, in the 5th, 6th, 7th episode, start to do fucking a season per episode, which I was I felt robbed. I felt fucking cheated. Their second championship, that whole season, they barely even fucking go over it. And it's the rise of the Lakers dynasty, the show is called. But we never actually really get to see the Lakers dynasty. It's so shameful. It's so fucking sad. And it's because it costs too much money. I'll remember this when Warner Brothers shits out the next garbage DC film, Blue Beetle. Fuck Warner Brothers, man. Fuck HBO. I'm canceling my subscription. The fuck is there to watch on there? It's too expensive. You gotta be fucking shitting me. The ratings didn't support it. I didn't know. I thought there were a lot of fans of this show, but I was looking at the ratings and they weren't good. So I guess the best show on the air, we just couldn't give them another season now that they were starting to gain traction. We just couldn't cut the check for $20 million? Warner Brothers is fucking broke. They're destitute as fuck. And you know what's going next? You know what's going on the chopping blocks next, I bet? AEW. And rightfully so, because fuck them for firing CM Punk and keeping the wastoid fucking bum Bucks and fucking God only Kenny Omega-san. AEW is fucking dying. They lied about the attendance numbers there, folks. Shameful. What's his name? The Australian faggot tattooed the number on his fucking arm, and it's not even the real number of people that were there. Shame on you, Tony Khan. You con man motherfucker. And shame on HBO for canceling Winning Time. Shame on Jerry West for crying that the performance wasn't realistic. Fuck you. Let me have my TV show. I don't know. That's all, folks. I was pissed. Let's get a season 3 to finish it right. You can't have a Lakers show end in 84. Even Jeannie Buss, they showed it to her. You can't have it end this way. Apparently we can. Apparently, HBO, Warner Brothers don't give a fuck. They're just going to give us more garbage. Fuck you guys. Peace.